Hi guys, I'm Chelsea and this is Curtis. Today we're going over the most stressful part of traveling, what it costs.
Nothing is worse than being on your vacation and watching your bank account slowly go down. That's why our first tip is to increase your credit limit. And you know that this is correct because we're on the internet and the internet is always correct.
So in this video, we're going over what it costs to travel to Thailand, including accommodations, transportation, excursions, and food, so that you don't have to increase that credit card limit.
So first up, we're going to talk about transportation. Now, we are traveling from Canada to Thailand, so if you're traveling from Canada or the US, prices are probably going to be similar. A perfectly average flight that we found is about $1,200, but in our experience, if you book in advance, probably like even up to a year in advance, you can save yourself a ton of money. And last time we flew to Thailand, we were able to fly there for $600 return per person.
It's a wicked price.
Right you are, Ken. So once you land in Thailand, you'll probably be landing in Bangkok and you'll need a way to get from the airport to your hotel. Now, when you're landing in a new foreign country like this, it can be very intimidating, which is why we recommend just getting a cab. They make it super easy at the airport. You don't really have to barter too much. You go to the little thing, grab a ticket, get in your taxi, and you're on your way. It's pretty seamless. If you want to learn more about taxis and how to negotiate, you can subscribe to this channel because our next week's video is going to be on tuk-tuks and taxis.
No, someone left the comments last time that it's not tuk-tuk, it's tuk-tuk.
Because our next week's video is going to be how to negotiate with cab drivers in Bangkok.
Once you get your bearings and get to your hotel, you can learn how to use the BTS system. It's a much cheaper alternative to taking the cabs and it's super easy to navigate.
So what we paid to get from the airport to our hotel was about a 45-minute cab ride and cost us about 400 baht, which is about $40? 20. I know that, 1,000 baht is $40, I think. Why don't you just pull up the baht calculator? US or Canadian? $16 Canadian, which is about 400 baht.
So that's a good reference point for you and about what cabs cost.
Now, chances are when you're flying into Bangkok, you might spend a couple days there. You're probably going to want to see some very nice beaches. If you haven't seen our video on one of the top beaches in Thailand, you can see that here.
I don't know, but I think we've shamelessly plugged too many videos.
Go watch it.
So if you're heading to the south of Thailand, you're probably gonna wanna hop onto a flight. Flights within Thailand are fairly inexpensive. And once again, booking ahead, we've been able to find some great deals. To fly from Bangkok to Krabi or Phuket.
Or Phuket.
Is it Phuket or is it Phuket? I don't remember.
It's Phuket.
Flights within Thailand are super reasonable. So to catch a flight from Bangkok to Krabi or Phuket.
Phuket.
Phuket? Damn it! Why can't I never pronounce anything right? Flights within Thailand are super reasonable. So if you're gonna catch a flight from Bangkok to Krabi or Phuket, did I say it right?
No, you still said Phuket. Or do you want me to say this part?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Flights within Thailand are super reasonable. If you're gonna catch a flight from Bangkok to the south of Thailand, we've had great experiences once again booking ahead. We paid about $50 Canadian per person round trip to fly from Bangkok to Krabi. We have taken this exact same flight in trips previous and booked them kind of last minute and paid almost 3 times that. So once again, our recommendation would be any big transportation trips like that in advance.
So next up is accommodations. It's your turn.
You suck. A good mid-range hotel would be about $70 a night. Hostels are obviously gonna be a lot cheaper than this, and nice luxurious hotels are gonna be $100 plus. In the past, we've used that $70 a night number as a good budget point, and we've spent a few nights where our accommodations have been cheaper than that, which also allowed us to have a few nights where we stayed in more luxurious hotels.
So again, booking last minute hotels will probably mean they're gonna be a little bit more expensive. When we booked our trips to Thailand, Chelsea did all the booking because she's an awesome wife, but she booked a lot of these hotels like months, even almost a year in advance. Like when we booked our first plane ride, we started booking hotels. If you book them on a site like Agoda, you have free cancellation. I think we booked like 20 hotels because we couldn't make up our mind. And then right before the last day that you can cancel and still get a full refund, you can cancel the hotels you're not going to stay in and make your final decision. We also did a video on what hotels cost in Thailand, and you can see that video. I'll link it up here as well.
Next up, we're talking about budgeting for excursions. In my opinion, excursions in Thailand, why am I so disgusting? In my opinion, excursions in Thailand is one of the best parts. Excursions can be easily booked through your hotel concierge or through one of the many booking agencies that you'll see in popular tourist areas. So let me paint a picture of what a full day excursion in somewhere like Krabi would be like.
Hiccups.
Okay. Why are stupid things so funny when you're on camera? Let's say you want to go snorkeling. The tour company will pick you up from your hotel at a designated time. They will give you transportation to the dock or beach that you'll be getting on your boat. They'll take you out for a full day on the boat for snorkeling. They'll feed you lunch. They'll give you snacks on the boat. They'll take you home and they'll give you transportation right back to your hotel. A full day excursion like this, including your meal, costs about $40 to $50 per person, depending on the excursion. We've done really similar full day excursions like this in places like Mexico, and we've paid upwards of $150 a person. And the excursions are way better in Thailand because everything's better in Thailand. So when it comes to budgeting for excursions, I would keep that $50 per person per trip in mind, and then decide on how many excursions you want to fill your trip with. Depending on what activities and what places you want to see, rather than taking excursions, some cheaper alternatives might be booking ferries or renting scooters.
But the ambulance bill might not be worth it at the end of the day.
If you're renting a scooter, that's 100% fact. Another great money-saving tip when it comes to booking excursions is to book multiple excursions through one tour agency or through one individual. When we were staying in Krabi, we had a great tour guide that was in Ao Nang, and we booked all of our excursions through her. She knew that she was going to be getting repeat business from us, so she had no problem giving us a great rate. One of the best parts about Thailand is the street food. Bangkok is becoming world famous for how amazing the street food is. I'm drooling thinking about it right now. The best part about Bangkok and Thai street food is that it's so cheap.
If you want to see a really good documentary about what street food is like in Bangkok, they just put a TV series out on Netflix called Street Food. The first episode is about Bangkok, so you can watch that really quick.
Gave us all the feels watching it.
So when we say street food, we really mean it. I mean, you can probably eat for like $6 to $7 a day if you really stick to street food. So you have to stick to where the locals are going. Don't go off into the heavily touristy area or malls. Although they can be cheap, you can get a much better meal and a much cheaper meal by sticking where the locals are going.
I made funny faces during there because I was going to interrupt you and I shouldn't have interrupted you. I totally made dumb faces. I'm so sorry. But don't say malls because the malls had fucking great food. In our experiences, Bangkok was a lot cheaper to eat in than the south of Thailand. You paid a little bit more for food in those areas, and street food wasn't as prevalent as it is in Bangkok. For us to sit down in a typical restaurant, we paid about 120 to 150 baht per entree. So that is, quick math.
That's why we have calculators.
So that's about $6 an entree. If you tag a beer on that, which is maybe $2 Canadian, we would eat about $10 per person per meal. When you're still comparing that to Canadian prices to sit down in a restaurant, Thailand is so inexpensive.
Think about this. For a 2-week vacation or 14 days, your budget should look something like this. Flights, $800. Hotel, $70 times 14 days is $980. Excursions, assuming one excursion every second day, is $50 times 7, which is $350. Food, $280 total. Additional transportations, trains, cabs, etc. $25 times 14 days is $350, which is a total of $2,760. So if you're going to be going with somebody, something like your transportation and your accommodations will be split, which will make it even cheaper for both of you to go on this vacation.
So every traveler is different, and your preferences on food and accommodations and transportation can vary dramatically. As our final tip, like any budget you've ever made in your life, it's always better to overestimate than underestimate. Thanks guys for watching our budgeting guide for Thailand. We hope that you've learned something new.
And if you like this video and want to see more, scroll down and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you can see more of our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.